Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to FPL. Don't panic at the end of game week 15. That was eventful, wasn't it? Where to start? So what I'll do today, let's get my head together on this. I'm going to do a very, very quick review of game week 15. Then we're going to talk about the team for 16. But I'm going to have a little more in-depth chat about my strategy that I've spoken to a number of you about. Probably started a couple of game weeks back as I started to sort of develop my 16 to 20 strategy, because I'm becoming more and more convinced it's going to become a template within the next 4 to 5 games, and it leaves a big debate for me as to whether I go early, take the hits now to do it, or whether I implement it on a slow basis. You'll know if you look at my one of my last videos. I think it was a couple of videos back, where I was talking about my 16 to 20 strategy. That's becoming a thing now. I'm hearing it more and more from the other content providers. In fact, I was listening to FPL Dan just after the match this morning, and I would say it's an identical team. I've got a little bit more budget, which means I can actually go the double Arsenal, the double Liverpool, as well as having the Ahmad Enzo rotation and a couple of premium strikers up front. So the only real difference is that I've got an extra quality defender. Other than that, same bloody team. Finding that interesting. That it is definitely the content providers, the other Dan, Gianni Buttici, who are great guys, by the way. I have no criticism. They're obviously latching onto something as well. I was hoping I would be ahead of the curve. I think I'm going to be a little bit ahead of the curve, because it's not quite easy just to do this restructure unless you've actually got a lot of transfers up your sleeve via wildcarding. But I think you're going to see more and more moving there in the near future. We'll talk a little bit more about that shortly. Let's review game week 15, which I have to say I'm very, very happy with, but just a little sad because that bloody yellow from Fabianski and that additional goal from Bowen. I would have been inside the top 100k, and as it stands, it's 108k, which is a nearly 100k rise. So, I've been churlish here. I've been very churlish. It's a bloody fantastic result. Especially given everything that happened, obviously, with the Virgil, well, basically no Gabriel, no Virgil, no Salah for differing reasons, and we all know the reasons. So to have come away with 72 points, which, by the way, I predicted 71, and my 71 prediction is, as you all know, is always based on, or it never includes captaincy, because of the whatever happens will happen, and by God, it all happened this week. Yeah. So, very, very briefly, we'll just run through it quickly, and then we'll have a look at the team for next week. Fabianski, 2 points, so I guess technically I made the right 50-50 call in playing him over Henderson. But why did he have to get that yellow? That actually cost me 3,000 or 4,000 places, and and it's just a shame that I know I got the assist for Aït-Nouri from the Wolves goal, but I would have taken the Fabianski clean sheet. I mean, my dream result today, in all honesty, would have been a 0-0 draw. Anyway, not to be. 2 points. Didn't really expect much else than that, much more than that. That's fine. Konza is I actually almost consider Konza a bigger hero than Palmer this week. That 8 points is just thousands and thousands of places in rank wise. So it's such a good differential. I don't think too many people have Konza anymore, so to get a clean sheet out of that was fantastic. Aït-Nouri, no clean sheet, nothing unexpected there, but 4 points, absolutely take it. It is a return, and I finally got something out of him, and it may well be his last appearance for me, because he will be moving out either this week or certainly within the next week or so, within the next game week or two. Hall, nothing, 1 point. Let's not talk. I still like Hall. I think I'm probably going to hang on to him as I do this mini restructure over the next week or two. I'm happy enough with him, and I always fancy that something could happen at St James's Park, and he will be purely a bench player. Palmer, thank you, Captain Palmer. Yeah, absolutely. I really did save the week. Obviously, 30 minutes to go in that match. He hadn't got anything. I was languishing. That probably was about 400,000 or 500,000, and then assist, 2 goals, captain's armband. Fantastic. We'll never know what might have been had Salah been playing, and if he got a haul like that, and we'll never know. I don't know whether I'm lucky or unlucky or whatever. We just take it, we just take what we take. And as I say, I had I couldn't make actual changes, but I knew the storm was coming. As you know, I'm in New Zealand. I had to go outside of Auckland for work, so I just tried to set things up as best I thought. So if the Everton Liverpool match was cancelled, the right things were dropping into place. So yeah, armbands captain on Palmer worked out beautifully, fantastic. Saka, again, tail of what could have been. I thought Fulham were very good, in all honesty. I thought Fulham were very, very good. And does make me wonder about, we'll talk about the captain's armband for next week. I thought Fulham defended well. I think Robinson, Robinson, I think was on Saka. I thought he did a really good job, in all honesty. I don't think Saka didn't have a bad game, but definitely not his usual devastating self. Could have had his goal. That was unlucky. Those points would have been very, very handy. A toenail for offside, but it is what it is. So just the 2 points. So hopefully we can see some returns out of Saka next week. Bruno, lovely, 9 points. Thank you very much. He is now gone. We'll talk about that. But yes, great to get that 9 points out of him before he departs. And Ahmad, a little 4.9 million defender of midfielder in with his with a little assist. Then we have Jackson. Pretty disappointing considering the nature of that game that he didn't come away with a return. I don't think I've made a mistake there. But obviously I've made the investment now as part of my strategy going forward. So we have to stick with these things sometimes, and we'll see how that pans out over the next few weeks. The fixtures are great. The fixtures are really there for him. So maybe it might be Jackson doing a big return for me next week instead of Palmer. We'll see. João Pedro. My thoughts around this are just the 2 points. These cheapy forwards, I've spoken about it quite a lot in the last few weeks as a sort of plan towards the 16 to 20 strategy. They're starting to lose their appeal. They've had their time in the sun. They're cheap for a reason. They don't have the same consistency as the higher quality teams and the higher quality players do. So he's had his time in the sun. I think I will be hanging on to him because of the price, because it enables other things. But I will eventually look at maybe some other options, because I think the guy that needs to go is Cunha. He's really Wolves are atrocious. They had a little resurgence. Cunha, I'm sorry to say goodbye to, because he did so well for me when I brought him in with Salah. Caught his purple patch. He's falling away. I didn't really see too much there today that gives me any confidence that he's going to start firing again. His expected goals are actually quite low. What he was doing, he was in a little purple patch. And he was finishing off ridiculously difficult goals. His confidence was running red hot. Wolves look tired, depleted, lacking in confidence. And I think we'll have a look at the fixtures for next week and my team for next week. I don't fancy that they'll do much against them, to be honest with you. So it could be time for an early Cunha departure, and for me to put my 16 to 20 strategy into play early, because I do feel that others are going to be following this path very, very, very soon. I'm hearing it. As I say, I'm hearing it on these content providers starting to talk about it now. Let's have a look at the team as it would stand for next week. Right, I'm just going to double check. Sometimes my recording on this goes off, and if I'm talking to myself, we're still going. Yay! Right, currently I've got Fabianski in goal, but it could be Henderson. It's a flip of a coin. I'm looking at Alisson as part of my strategy. It's between Raya and Alisson, because I move towards this double Arsenal, double Liverpool structure. I've heard now Alisson is back in training, so I would prefer Alisson, I think, at this point, because I think I want to look at, I've obviously got Virgil in. I brought him in early last week, which is a shame he didn't play, but I have no problem with that, because I've got him in place as I build my 16 to 20 team. And I'd be looking as the second player there from Liverpool will be Alisson. Obviously got Gabriel. So the problem I've got here is obviously his way to find out what the hell is going on with Gabriel. I mean, Arteta is such a pain in the... I'd be very frustrated as an Arsenal supporter not getting proper information. I don't know how they feel about it. Is he long-term injured or is he not? Let us know, let your fans know. Arteta, you're a dick. Hall I have currently got in place for this game, and it's a good fixture. So I've got questions now as I think about, do I take a strategic worsening of points hit, and what the upside is on that. And I think, Hall, could be okay. Could be okay. And I'll bring in Timber or Saliba. Probably leaning towards Timber because it means I can delay that transfer. Because I'd have enough buffer in my money. But if I do decide Saliba, I would have to take the hit. Or I think I'm going to get priced out. Midfield is now as I want it, and this looks great for this coming week. You'll see I brought in Enzo early as I'm building the 16-20 strategy. So I've got Enzo in there. We'll have Ahmad on the bench for the City away. Enzo and Ahmad, both 4.9. They have returned. Enzo's returning in his last 5. His numbers are good. He's playing in a more advanced position. And we've got Ahmad, who's returned in 4 of his last 5, and is just looking like if he's on the pitch, he will get a return every match. Those two rotating, I think they're going to go well. The fixtures for Enzo are fantastic. Mixed bag for Ahmad, but as I said, the rotations work very, very well. And to be honest with you, I think that if something did happen, if again, like some disaster, a Jackson injury or João Pedro didn't play or rested or whatever, I'm not actually worried about Ahmad coming in against City. I think he could do some serious damage against Gavardio down that left. Gavardio's lovely going forward, but man, does he leave some big holes in behind him. It's a bit of a temptation in a way. I think United will get dicked. Let's make that clear. As bad as City are, United are 10 times worse. Ahmad's got some job in his hand there, but I fancy Ahmad to get returns in any time he sets on that pitch. He's looking fantastic, and I'm loving the way that's going to rotate with Enzo over the next 5 games. Jackson, great fixture. So no worries there at all. Brentford are atrocious away from home. I think Chelsea could be in for a 3-4-5 goal haul again. João Pedro, Crystal Palace at home. Crystal Palace looking a little bit more resilient. As I say, the thing that frustrates me with the João Pedro the most is not actually João Pedro, it's his bloody manager taking him up with 20 minutes to go. 20 minutes to go is when you want your best players on the pitch. He said he's your star boy. You drew that game. I think it ended up 2-2, and you had your best player sitting in the stands. That's ridiculous. Learn your lessons, young man. Cunha. Cunha's going to go. I think Cunha's going to go this week. I'll bring up my spreadsheet shortly. I think Cunha's going to go. Wolves are awful. As I said, they've had their moment in the sun. The days of the cheapy forwards is done. I didn't feel anything in that Wolves team that gives me any level of confidence whatsoever that they're going to stick even a couple of goals past Ipswich. I don't think Ipswich are actually that bad defensively. And I'm going to talk about who I think I will take a hit for this week, because I think that's where the upside is, and it's what gets me moving on this 16-20 strategy. Because I think the other transfers I can ease those in, but this next one I think I need to do this week, even though I don't want to take a strategic worsening of points. I think I'm gonna, because I think the upside could be significant. Right, that comes up. Right, okay. So, as I say, yes, I do want to change my goalkeeper and finally sort my goalkeeper situation out. But I think it's going to be Fabianski or Henderson are going to be in goals. Averaging 4 points. There's no upside in doing a keeper transfer this week. If a keeper keeps a clean sheet, what you need is a penalty save or something to really sort of loads of save points, etc. So the upside, even if it wouldn't be worth it, even if Alisson is guaranteed to be playing in goal at the weekend. I won't go with that one. That risk is too big for me, even for me. Virgil will be great. As I say, it's lovely fixture. Just got to keep my fingers crossed for Gabriel that he's right, but I'm quite happy for for one of the others to sort of come off the bench in the time being. Depends on the Gabriel. If Gabriel is actually injured, I might make the defensive. If I find for definite he's out, I might make the defensive transfer. But I have to see how that one develops. It would be. I don't think it would be Aiden I'd play anyways. It would be Hall coming in. Their averages are pretty much the same anyway. So it's just really about the fixture there. So I'd probably bring Hall in. Because he's on a nice fixture with Leicester. Salah Saka, Enzo spoken obviously about that. And at the moment I've got Jackson, Cunha and João Pedro up front. And as I said, I think so currently that team does show me it would do okay. It'd get me the 68 to 69 points across the last 5 matches that they have played, overlaid. We're looking at 57, 87, we've got it, 86, 52, 66, 66. So those are mostly reasonable scores. And remember, they're of course without captaincy, but I'm doing my predictions without captaincy for the whatever will happen factor, and something always happens. So we're looking at an average of 68. If we take the median from their lowest that they'd have achieved to their highest at 69, be happy with that. So, but on that team there, I'd predict we'd squeeze the 70 out, especially as they are for the most part really good home fixtures, probably apart from the keepers, which with Fabianski and Henderson, I think they should all be black fixtures to be honest. So I could go with that. As I say, I've already done one transfer. I've already done the Enzo transfer. But I want Isak. I really want Isak for that home fixture. Isak's got little bright green fixtures for the next 2 or 3. The risk is obviously that Cunha could... Well, he's a really good player. He's playing in a crap team. And Ipswich are reasonably solid. So go with, Cunha to go, bring in Isak, because I think I'd have more regret than if I was looking at what am I going to feel the worst about. If Isak bags 2 or 3 goals, and I keep Cunha and he blanks, or vice versa, and what will I be most disappointed about? And I would be most disappointed if I didn't go Isak than if I went the other way. And Isak Hall. I'm getting that right way around. Yeah, I think you know what I mean. I think I'm going to do the Isak transfer. Reasons on that is there's the bigger upside, and I'm going to hold off on the defensive one until maybe we find out a little bit about Gabriel, and I think I can more afford to wait on that one until next week, and then I can actually look at the Alisson situation as well, assess that. But those are fundamentally the 3 transfers I want to make now or within the next couple of weeks. Is the goalkeeper, Alisson, which will give me a nice double Liverpool. Another Arsenal defender that may be Timber Saliba. I've got a double Arsenal, double Liverpool. My midfield is sorted at the moment, and then I've got that nice Enzo Ahmad rotation, and then I'm going to have a Jackson and Isak, and at the moment a João Pedro up front, and I've still got reasonable cheapy defenders on the bench there should anything go wrong, as in Gabriel, etc, etc. So those are the transfers. The numbers really do stack up. That's going to give me, based on the current averages, because my forwards are starting to fall away now, and bringing Isak in, his averages is up there on the 7, and I still think he hasn't reached his peak yet. So he's averaging 7, and I like to get an average of 7 out of my forwards, and my cheapies are falling away at the moment. Timber's averaging 5, and that's kind of where I ideally want to get to on my defenders. Now, whether that's keep upable, it's tough for defenders. You lose your goal, that's it, you're done. But Timber's looking pretty good, and I think he's certainly going to be a fixture in the Arsenal defence for a wee while. Potentially, I could go Saliba, the safer option. And then when Becker comes back, it's just for me. It's just not going to be too difficult to improve on my current goalkeeping situation. So I think bringing in those players is going to, bring me in those extra couple of on average points a week. And across the course of the season, that's going to make a big difference because we're not talking about one game week. We're not even halfway through the season yet. Because obviously what I want to try and look now, the next target over the next 16 to 20 is to see if I can get myself into that top 100. I don't care if it's 99,000, but get myself inside that top 100,000 and consolidate in there. Because I have already thought about my strategy for 21 to 25, but that'll be a story for another day. Listen, a bit waffly, just trying to get it across. Yeah, I am finding it really, really interesting now that what I've been talking about for a few weeks is actually a thing now, and Gianni Bottici's talking about it. FPL Dan, FPL mates, you name it, FPL, they're talking about it now. So remember, folks, you heard it here first a few weeks ago. No right to me. Stupid turtle. Take care, folks. Listen, hope you had a great game week. I'm very, very happy with how mine went. I will check back in a few days' time as I make these decisions, but I think I'm 99% that the one hit I will take will be Isaac. And just to get this properly underway, so I can get it done within the sort of next game week or two, as opposed to still be doing transfers in 3 game weeks, and then everyone's caught up with me anyways. Take care, have fun, play your own game, and above all else, do not panic, folks. See you soon.